Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, Magnetic Reversal News, Sacred Geography, and Shinrin Yoku, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Thursday, February 23rd, around 5 p.m. Mountain Time, 2023. Alaska officials raised the alert level for Trident Volcano after an increase in earthquake activity. We'll get to that a little bit. The big story, more than 850,000 power outages reported in a cross-country winter storm, with more snow, icing, and blizzard conditions ahead. Keep calm. It's blizzard boom time. Here are the key messages for California winter storm that's developing as we speak. An unusually cold system will bring heavy rain and snow to California later this week, starting now. And take a look at this. Winter storm severity index through Saturday. Purple is extreme. Red is major. So heads up, temperatures well below normal, and just got an update that it is snowing on the Hollywood sign. Take a look in our region, 302 inches to date at Wolf Creek, 23 inches for the most recent storm. It's still snowing outside as we speak, as whiteout snowstorm shuts down highways in my region, southwest Colorado. High winds and heavy snow created hazardous driving conditions Wednesday across much of southwest Colorado, and even today, including the San Juan Mountains. And they closed many roads, including 491, 550, Highway 491 in Cortez, US 285 Pancha Pass over in the San Luis Valley, Colorado 17, Cumbres, La Manga Pass as well. So it was getting a little jiggy out here with the global warming goodness. And there is icing, as we predicted would happen. The thickest ice in 50 years is knocking out power for 65,000 in Washtenaw County. And Michigan Ice Storm is claiming here, the Detroit Free Press, 495,000 utility customers in the dark as lines and trees snap. And let's take a look at this update.
Confirmed that a volunteer firefighter did die from this storm. He was responding to a call of a downed power line in Paw Paw, Michigan. So sad to hear that report, but learning that this storm has turned deadly. The ice that's coating everything, it's bringing down trees and power lines, also cars covered in ice must be uncovered, right? Ice broken up about to 7/10 of an inch here in Bedford. Pretty impressive. Ann Arbor ended up with 0.65 inches of ice.
So there is significant icing, and as we just heard, in fact, a fatality. This is where I had it about an hour ago, 747,000 without power in Michigan. Let's refresh it, see if it's getting any better or worse. It is getting worse, 818,000 now without power in Michigan. Almost a million statewide, but this region is continuing to get hammered. So hopefully they have backup generators and other sources or neighbors that are prepared. As rare weather conditions are fueling California's major and unusual snowstorms. Yeah, it's the meridional flow. Take a look at all these record colds and take a look at all the record highs yesterday. So we've got extreme separation between two record air masses. Here's the 48-hour snowfall analysis as of 6 a.m. this morning. Obviously, these will be much deeper, but a huge swath of Minnesota with over a foot of snow here. Areas in Wisconsin and South Dakota with a foot of snow. In our region, we have over 3 feet, probably 4 feet or more in some of the South San Juans here, and massive snow all over the West. Also, the Northeast picking up snow in the regions that we predicted the other day, Vermont, New Hampshire, the Adirondacks, and southern Maine. About 8 inches for the most part across the region. Now let's take a look at the snowfall totals for the future. Here is Thursday, moving into Friday. A little bit of snow dumping from the rest of that system as that California system begins to develop and explodes. We should pick up a little bit more snow in the Four Corners region here while they get pummeled in California. Look at the snow pile up through the weekend. So this will go all the way through Sunday with record snow in southern and central California, and more moisture for the Four Corners region. Now, another system will be hitting the upper Midwest there, Wisconsin, Michigan, New York, Pennsylvania, the entire Northeast, and this will begin on Monday. Take a look, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Heavy snow for the Northeast early next week. Looking good. And if we move the models out later, the Northeast continues to get hammered, so Lots of good things happening as we enter spring. Ding, ding, in the form of snow. 6.3 just kicked off in Indonesia. This is on top of the 6 magnitude, 6.8 in Tajikistan, which is in a very uninhabited region. This one was at depth, 97 kilometers, so probably very few people felt that. Didn't do much in the way of any damage, and no other quakes of note. Worldwide volcano news update. Nothing out of the ordinary except for the uptick in Alaska as Alaska officials raise the alert level for volcano after increase in earthquake activity. It's Trident Volcano on the Alaska Peninsula. And the increased seismic activity alert has now been raised to yellow. Take a look at that seismicity. I think we do have a seismic chart down here. Yes, let's take a look at this. And you can see quite the uptick. This is an annual chart. And we do have maybe a higher resolution chart that I've pulled up. Well, this is going to be the position of Trident. So if you didn't know, this is where that volcano is located on the peninsula, right there. And you could see an uptick yesterday, a flurry of activity up near the surface. That's indicative of potentially magma, but overall, pretty general seismicity from as deep as 30 kilometers with a clustering yesterday up at the surface. So interesting things happening at Trident, which is quite an explosive volcano. It hasn't erupted since 1974, but when it did erupt, it was at VEI 3. So in multiple cones here that can blow up. And you can see seismic swarms under all of the volcanoes here. In fact, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Katmai, Nova erupted, Trident. And these two, I can't see. There's so many earthquakes, I can't even see the name of the volcanoes. But it is, I did read it here earlier. Yeah, Martin and Mageek down here. Look at the swarms happening here. Martin and Mageek, Trident and Nova Erupta, and Katmai. So all experiencing some seismic swarms. So something interesting is happening on the Alaska Peninsula where we could potentially see a VEI 3 explosion anytime in the near future. Over to space weather. Solar indices continue to drop off the cliff. Few sunspots peppering. Most of the activity coming from the one active region, 3, 2, 3, 4, and most of those M flares. But activity is waning now as most of the uptick has been from that coronal hole. Most of this activity. So, and we may have some more geomagnetic activity coming in here on the 27th, potentially, on both of the models, showing a little bit of a plasma spike on the 27th. Now, the governor's office in Pennsylvania makes a criminal referral in the Ohio train derailment. Good news. Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro said the state's acting attorney general is investigating whether criminal charges are warranted in the derailment of Norfolk Southern Railroad train just over the state line in East Palestine. So it's good to see maybe some criminal action happening as well as a cleanup. Now, if you're new to planning or you're just or you're not and you're someone who likes to be, is into planning, this new app called Seedtime with the Seedtime store is free, and it gives you this interesting Seedtime calendar where you put in all your crops, you put in your zip code, and it knows your grow zone. It knows when your last hard frost and last frost are. It's just a cool app, and we get nothing from it, and it's free. It's called the Seedtime calendar. So if you're interested in something like that, where you can visualize exactly when to seed, transplant, or harvest anything in your garden all year long based on your local area and what you input, check it out at Seedtime. Links will be below, .us. And if you didn't know, Leah and I will be at the San Luis Valley Seed Exchange April 1st and 2nd from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Sunday, April 2nd. Both days we'll be there. We'll be outside. We'll be giving out cannabis. We'll be giving out millions of free seeds. Leah will be selling her jewelry, and I'll have some other cool things available for sale as well. So check out our booth at the San Luis Valley Seed Exchange. We will also be speaking probably on Saturday. Dates and times have not been announced. And that's boom. To knowledge, proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance. I've been plowing and shoveling all day. I need a hot shower. But I do digress. This is some important stuff. We had to get this out here. Please become a Patreon. Support the work we do. We love you. Be safe. We'll see you tomorrow.